magic ring. So I wrap it around my fingers, go up here, pull up the loop, turn it, and go and grab the yarn again and pull it through that loop, and that makes my magic ring. Then I'm going to pull its tail here to make my ring a little bit smaller, and then I'll bring my yarn to the back. So we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so then I'm going to pull my tail here to close up my circle. And if you notice, we should have 6 stitches here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch around. Thereby we'll make it a little bigger. So there's 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and mark my first stitch so I don't lose track of where I'm at. So we did 2, so 1 and 2, this is the first one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this marker in here. I'll just let it hang for now. I think it'll stay. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets. I'm sorry, I've got grandbabies in the next room and they're playing, and that's the way life is. So, okay, 1 and 2. Next stitch, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and the next stitch. If you don't know how to make a single crochet, I'm so sorry, but you'll go in under the stitch, draw up a yarn over, and pull through the stitch, draw up a yarn over, and pull through both of them. Okay, so we've got, looks like 2 stitches left here. So we'll do 2 into each, 1 and 2. Okay, next stitch, through the stitch, pull up a yarn over, pull through 2, same stitch, yarn over, or pull up a yarn over, and pull through 2. So we should have a total of 12 stitches right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the one that the stitch marker's in, that makes 12. Don't ever forget to count that, because if you forget it, then you'll think you're short a stitch when you're not. Okay, so for the next row, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then a single, and then 2 single crochets, and we're going to repeat that. So in this first stitch, we're just working in the round here. So in the first stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. I'm going to go ahead and mark the first one, which is right here. If you want to make sure that that doesn't fall off, go ahead and close it. I'm going to close it. Okay, so we did 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Now in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet. The next stitch, we'll do 2 single crochets. And the next one we'll do 1. The next one we'll do 2. And the next one we're going to do 1 single crochet. The next one we'll do 2 single crochets. It's 1 and 2. The next one will be 1. The next one will be 2. 1 and 2. The next one will be 1. The next one is 2. 1 and 2. And then our last stitch right here should be the single crochet. Okay, so for the next row, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we'll single crochet 1 and 2, and then we'll do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then we'll single crochet 1 and 2. So, okay, so the first one here, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the first stitch. 1 and 2. I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker back in that first stitch. And I'll close it. Because for me, they always seem to fall off. Okay, so there's the 2. So then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet twice. And 2. Then we're going to do 2 in this stitch. 2. And then we'll do 1, 2. Then we'll do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Then we'll do 2 single crochets for the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And the next one, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the stitch. 1 and 2. Then we'll do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. The next one, we're going to put 2 stitches in there. 1 and 2. The next stitch is a single and a single in the next one. Then we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. And we should have 2 stitches left, which we do. 1, 2. So we're going to single crochet once into each of those. Okay, so there's that. And so you see it's getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so for the next round, 5 through 10, for the next 5 rows, we're going to just single crochet round and round and round and round. We've already done our increasing, and so we're just going to continue to make it a little longer. So I'm going to take this out so I can get my first stitch in here. Okay, so I'm going to do a single crochet right here. Then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. If you count your stitches, you should have a total of 24 stitches at the end of that last row, okay? So we're going to, for the next 5 rows, single crochet. So I'll go ahead and do a row or 2 with you. So here's our second one. Just single crochets into each one. Everybody has their own way of crocheting, especially if you taught yourself to crochet. I wasn't taught by a grandma or a friend or anybody. I just taught myself from a book because I was a kid back in the 60s and the 70s, and we didn't have YouTube or anything then. So I just taught myself to crochet. And so it's hard to break the habits that I developed to hold my yarn differently, or to, oh, I got a snag in my yarn right there. Or to hold my hook differently or anything. So I just continued to do things the way that I do them. It works for me. I may not be the fastest crocheter, but I get the things that I want made. And nowadays, we're very, very fortunate that we do have YouTube, so that it's easier to get more hands-on instruction than what we did in the old days. Oops, get back in there. Well, everything keeps sliding out. This yarn is very soft that I'm using, and it's just keeps sliding off my hook. But I like the things that I make to be very soft. It's very rarely that I want a heavy worsted weight yarn that's just scratchy. Whenever I make my grandbabies anything out of that type of yarn, they just complain. Okay, so there's row 5. And if you want to use a counter, use a counter. I've got one here. So here's one. And for me, I forget where I'm at if I don't write it down. And there's a lot of ways to do it nowadays. We've got the old counters like this, and then they've got the poppers that a lot of people will use as counters. And that works real well. You just push in one of the poppers. I think I'll get one of those at some point. So, okay, that was row 5. So I'm just going to put that was the first row of 5 that we're doing here. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out again and go ahead and put my first crochet in there. And at the end of each one of these rows, you should still have the 24 stitches because we're not increasing anymore. All we're doing is making it a little longer.
This is my grandma.
Yes, this is my granddaughter, Olivia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on my own for the next 4 rows. And once I get to the end of row 10, I will come back and meet you here. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end of row 10. Now, as you're crocheting from where we started, it would be like this, but I turned it so that the right side is here on the outside. A lot of times I leave it the other way so that as I'm working something, this doesn't start to get all fuzzy. But anyway, let's do our last couple of single crochets here. Okay, so that was the last stitch. So now what we're going to do, that we've done that, is we're going to do single crochet 2 together. This is going to be row 11, and we're going to single crochet 2 together and then single crochet in each of the next steps, and we'll repeat that. So to single crochet 2 together, we're going to go in here, the first stitch, pull up a yarn, into the next one, pull up a yarn, yarn over, and then we're going to pull through all 3 of those stitches. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Olivia.
I'm going to change my pom-pom into her outfit.
Okay, dokie. Okay, so we did our 2 together, so now we're going to do single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And then we'll do another 2 together. So we go in there, pull up a loop. In that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay? Then 2 more single crochets. So 1 and 2. Sage, please don't do that. And what we're doing right now is we're decreasing so that it's going to start to close our little octopus head here. So we'll do 2 together again. Pull up a loop, through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then we'll do 2. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 together again. So pull up a loop in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. Then 2 single crochets. So there's 1, the next stitch, 2. Then we'll do a 2 together. So in the first stitch, pull up a loop. In the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then we will single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. Then we'll do 2 together. And then we'll do, should have 2 left. Yep. So single crochet and single crochet. And that's the end of round 11. Okay. So now what you can do at this point, depending on how you're going to do your face on your octopus, you can put in these little eyes like this, which is quick and easy. Cost a little bit more to do that for a very simple project. Or my grandson ran away with the one I had, so I'm going to show you a chicken. Or we can just use some yarn and we'll just make some little eyes on it, okay? So I think for this one, I am going to go ahead before I stuff his head, and I'm going to put some eyes on it. So let me look through here. It shouldn't take, these are a little bit bigger than the smallest eyes that I have, and that's probably a good sized eye for this little, I don't know how the smaller ones would look, so I think I'll go with the little bit bigger eye. So what you're gonna do with these, let me pull up this yarn a little bit so I can take the hook off of here. I don't want to drop my stitches. Okay. So I think that I shall write about, what I love a lot about this yarn like this that switches color as it goes along is it's just, I think it's really cute. It's got a darker pink top here and then this middle, and then we're going into the purple. Okay, so we're ready to do 12, and what we're going to do is sort of a repeat of what we've been doing. We're going to continue to decrease, and so we're going to start off with 2 stitches together. So into stitch, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in there so I don't lose my place. You'll save yourself a lot of heartache if you just start using stitch markers. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy like this. It can be a piece of thread that you just lay across here. It can be a bobby pin. It can be anything. Just something to let you know where you started. Okay, so we did 1 single crochet together, and now we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch just 1 time. Whoops. Got something snagged there again. Okay, so in, pull it up. There's a single crochet. So now we're going to do another 2 single crochet together. And then we'll do 1 single crochet, 2 together, and this just continues to decrease the diameter of our little octopus head here. So then we'll do 1 single, whoops, I got my excuse me. Okay, and then we'll do 2 together, and then we'll do my thing's way over here. We'll do a single crochet, and we'll do 2 together. See, if I didn't have that marker in there, I wouldn't know where I started, and so I wouldn't know where to stop. But when you've got the marker in there, you just don't have to worry about it. It just saves you so much trouble and heartache. So we're going to do 2 together. I believe that's where I was. And then we've got 1 more single crochet here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that yarn big. So as you see, that made the opening a little smaller. So now we've basically just got a big ball here. So we need to stuff this. But before I do that, what I want to do is pick out some eyes. And you can do it 2 ways. You can do the little store-bought eyes like this. And they're not that expensive. I think I got it an entire box of them like this. I think it was like $5 or something on Amazon. I think that's where I got these. So you can put on that type of eye, which is quick and easy, or you can just stitch your eyes on later. Kind of whatever supplies you have on hand and what you prefer. I've done a couple more of these that I did stitch the eyes on and a little mouth, and I think it's really cute. This one still needs would still need the mouth stitched on. So that's a good, I guess, reason to just go ahead and stitch the eyes and mouth, because you got to stitch the mouth anyway, unless you don't want a mouth for your octopus. That's totally up to you. So let me show you these just really quick. They come in all different sizes. Like this is the smallest one that's in here, and I don't know how many millimeters that is. And this kit's really cool because it has the black eyes. Well, if I could get hold of one like that. But it also has colored eyes. Like I've got red or orange, whatever that is. I've got some greens. I got some blues. A gray. A brown. This green one goes over there. And this looks like kind of a, I don't know, a hazel or something. The other cool thing about this kit is it came with some noses. So like if you were making a teddy bear or lion or something, it came with these little triangle shaped noses. So I've got a black one, pink, brown, what's this? This one's a little bit different shaped. It's an oval nose instead of, I guess you could, if you wanted an oval eye, you could use that for an eye too. Let's see what this one is. This one, oh, it's got little nostrils in it. That's pretty cute. And then this last one, what's it got? Oops. Boy, I can't hold on to anything. It's just a little, it's a bigger round one. So it's pretty cute. So if I were going to put the eyes in here, I'd probably pick what I did for this other one, which is about the second largest size. And you just kind of decide where you're going to want to place those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would go right about here. And you just kind of pick a hole in between a stitch to shove those into. Okay. And it's easier before you stuff the head, of course, to just put these on, because then you can see the back. And then what you do is take one of the back pieces and slide them on there. But they come in different sizes too. They're not all the same. And so you just kind of get one that fits on there pretty tight. So there we've got one eye on. And then we'll put another eye on, unless we want a one-eyed octopus, which I don't. Oh, is that, oh, there's my eyeball. Okay, and then about, I don't know, right about, I think that's, how far apart should an octopus's eyes be? I think I'll just stick it in here, right about like that. That might be far apart, but anyway. Oh, well, okay, so then we'll put the next back on. I'll just push that down tight. If you can see, these are kind of screw-in, like little screws, but you just shove them onto the thing and it holds really tight. They don't come off there. They say to put a warning if you're going to sell these or give them to a small child that there's a choke hazard, but I don't know how anybody's going to get those off of there. They'd really have to pull on them and chew on them. So there we've got our two little eyeballs in our octopus. So the next thing that I want to do is put some stuffing. Let me put these away. So we're just going to take some of this stuffing. And you know, this isn't even some stuff I bought from the store. This is an old pillow that I had that I didn't even want anymore. And rather than just throw it out, as you guys know, if you've ever made a pillow, that it's not very cheap to buy a pillow filler or a pillow form that's already stuffed in the shape that you want. But anyway, I cut a hole in it and I took the stuffing out of it. And so I'm just going to continue to stuff this in here till I get my little head kind of the shape that I want, by putting more stuffing on one side or the other is how you shape your head. If you want your head to be taller, kind of push it up a little bit more. But we're just going to keep sticking this in there. If we want our octopus to be fairly firm, we'll keep putting it in. And after we close it more, if you don't like the shape of it, as long as you still got a small opening, you can continue to stick some in there. Kind of give him a little round face. Okay, I'm just going to get a darning needle. Don't need that big a one, maybe this one. I tell you what, a big tip is just to put everything back where you got it, because otherwise you won't know what you did with it. Okay, I'm just going to use this scrap piece of yarn here. It doesn't have to be black. It can be any color you want to. So I'm going to take my little fella here, and let's see. So, like I said, we could go, I mean, you can make it any size you want. You can make the nose go clear up here. You can make the mouth, or the mouth, I'm calling it a mouth. I don't think octopuses have nose. You can make your yarn come down this way and then come back up, whatever you want. One other tip, before you stuff it, might even be a better time to put your little face on if you're going to, because if you're going to stitch it on, because you end up pulling some of the fibers of the stuffing with the yarn as you go in and out. And that's not a big deal. You can pull them off, but Okay, so I'm holding my little yarn that I went in here with, and I'm just going to tack it down one time in here, and then as I go ahead and add more stitches, I'll just kind of weave it in there to hold that. So I think I want my mouth to come kind of in a little, I don't know, a bird beak look. So maybe like that. I think that's even between the eyes. If it's not, it'll just give him character. Okay? So I am going to, this is just my way. Y'all do whatever works for you. I'm going to go ahead and tie it to make sure that it doesn't come out, but then I will work the ends in if I can get them. My poor little old hands just don't cooperate anymore the way they used to. I've got a kitty that just came in the house. My nice kitty. The other kitty brought in a bird earlier. He brings them in alive quite frequently. He'll bring in the dead ones. He doesn't usually kill them. He just brings them in to me. So then I wake up with chirping little birds in here every now and then, or a squealing rabbit or something. Okay, so we've got our two little eyes on. We've got our little beak mouth. I think actually octopuses have beak mouths, don't they? Or are they on the other side? I don't know. And so I had to reach down in there and pull up my marker because I lost it under my fiber fill. Okay, so now that we've got this done, we're ready to start round 13. And so we're going to do 2 together again till we have 6 stitches, okay? So let me take this off. So we'll go in the first stitch, pull up a loop, second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3. And again, we'll just do, I'm not even going to mark it, I can count them from here. And we'll just keep doing that. So we've got 8 loops left. Going to start putting the legs on these loops. 8. So I'm just going to go in this first stitch, and what I want to do is chain 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do is work a half double crochet, which you yarn over. We're going to go into the second chain from the hook, so not this first one, we're going in the second one, and we're going to work a half double crochet in there. Okay, and that's 1. We're going to put 3 of those in there, so we need 2 more. Another one.
Dad.
Okay, and then we're going to do that in every chain all the way down till we get to the body of our octopus. So what we're doing right now is making these little tentacles. This one I did separate and I stitched it on separate, but after I did that a few times I decided, why can't I just do it at the same time without separating? So anyway, I'm going to do a half double crochet, 3 of them into the next chain. That's my dog, he's blind. He steps on things because he's blind, and so he's really starting to have some issues. He's blind, he's deaf, he's starting to have some incontinent issues.
He's so annoying.
1, 2,
No, don't go in there. Don't go.
and 3. Then into the next chain. Don't twist your chain. Silly girl.
Elvis.
1, 2. Whoops, dropped them all. And that's the forgiving thing about crochet. If you drop all your stitches, just put a loop back on and start again. Okay, draw through all 3, so that's 2. One more in that chain. So let me show you slowly again. Let me make sure I got my chain going. There we go. See, it was starting to twist, so I got it untwisted. And you can tell it's untwisted because you got these kind of little V-shaped chains. If it's the other way, then you can't really tell where they're at and it's twisted. But anyway. Okay, so now that we've got the 9 here, this last stitch that we've got here, that is our beginning single. So we don't want to go into that. So we're going to, in the next stitch on the body here, we're going to go ahead and work a single crochet to attach the next, like how many legs we got? 3. Okay, so we did our single, so we're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm at the end of this leg here. You'll see that this stitch right here is our beginning single crochet, so we don't need to work half doubles in that. We'll just go to the next stitch on the body and we'll work a single to attach everything, and then we'll start our next leg. Okay, so now I've finished all my legs for my little octopus here, and so I've got this hole here at the bottom that I need to close up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet together. To get rid of some of those stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches left. So I'm gonna pull this yarn through here. And it's pretty good the way it is, but I'm going to go ahead and get a darning needle. Should have got one with the bigger eye because I can't see and it doesn't go through as well. Okay, so then we're just going to work in the front loops only, which are these right here. See this stitch? It has the front and there's the back. This one, the front, the back, the front, the back, front, back, front, back. So we're just going to work into those front stitches only and ignore those back ones. Go into the first loop from the inside to the outside and draw it taut. Then we'll go into the next stitch, use inside to the outside, front loop only, and we'll draw that one taut. And inside to the outside, we'll draw that one. Next one, inside to the outside. Next one, inside to the outside. Pull it tight. And we've got one more here that we need to do, inside to outside, front loop only, and pull it tight. So we pull that tight, and you see you've got a little bit of a bump right there. So all I'm going to do is stick the needle back down into my octopus, and I will have it come out his head. You can have it come out anywhere else. All we're doing is, whoops, I got tangled up in my octopus legs here. Imagine that. Okay. And so then you pull it, and you can see that it pulls that. And it pulls that little dimple that we had out of there. And it looks really nice. It's really flat down here. And then all I'm going to do, so I'm just going to push it down a little bit, clip that thread, and then let it come back up, and then you won't see that. And there we go. Perfect on the bottom. And I like this technique much better than this one. I didn't close up very well. I just tied it and left it there. This one was a different method. I just went into each side of the body. I think this one is by far the best method of doing it. I think he's just a really cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please come back and join me again. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment box. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.